doing A Quiet Place this week, we've decided to do all of this podcast in silence. Enjoy.
Jesus Christ. Just break everyone's speakers and shit them up. That isn't a jump scare unless you had the...
No, I wasn't trying to do a jump scare. I was trying to say, because you made a noise, now we're all going to die. Idiot.
I didn't make a noise. It wasn't loud enough.
You did,
We've got pillowcases against the wall. Pillowcases. They'll do nothing. They're like sheets. We've got mattresses against the
And
wall.
also we don't.
We've got thin paper against the walls.
Yeah.
That says, what's their weakness? Chicken.
Says what?
So what's their
Oh,
weakness?
for goodness sake.
Circle
Start
the
off
word
on a
weakness.
negative.
Should we start with ghost stories first and get the small
Yes.
one out of the way? We should actually say this week we're going to try and weave it all into the same category of how much screen time you give to a monster and how that affects the film.
Yeah.
And it goes both ways, just like Style Over Substance. We're so filmy with these different categories and discussions.
So filmy.
We'll talk about ghost stories first.
Yeah.
British film. We're British.
Mhm.
Means we fucking love it.
That we are. And so I of course loved it before I even went.
No telephone box. Well, there probably was a telephone box in
I
there.
don't think there was. You know, I didn't see one.
It's very rare to watch a British film without a telephone box in there somewhere. Or London.
What's there one?
There's a wrapper in my sock.
That we always manage to make ourselves sound incredibly grotty on this podcast.
Grotty. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I don't know.
We'll
you do see a lot of
never
the same actors when you see English stuff.
Yeah.
Usually
Martin
Martin
Freeman.
Freeman.
Who's
Usually
in
just Martin Freeman.
everything. Yeah. He's good though.
How to sum it up without spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. It's very well acted.
Story, I would say.
It's a ghost story. If you're going to watch this, dissimilar to A Quiet Place, it isn't. Oh no, it's quite jumpy actually. No, it is quite jumpy.
Yeah.
But it's more horror than everyone's saying about horror. Like Quiet Place isn't scary. This is gonna scare quite a lot of people.
Yeah,
I think this is on the verge of like that times just creep me out.
Yeah.
And I try not to let much stuff creep me out.
What?
I don't know. Yeah, this was quite creepy.
Yeah.
Which we'll go into with spoilers because it has some quite interesting things to say about this film. Linking to this week's topic, Kachinga Chinga.
Kachinga
Kachinga
Choo.
You should go watch it if you get time. It's not one that I'd desperately go see at the cinema. If there's other films that I'd rather go watch.
I think it's always nice to watch horrors at the cinema just because obviously you've got the added, you know, and that's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot out at the moment.
Darkness and it's loud.
Yeah.
You've got surround sound.
It's loud because people are chomping on popcorn around you.
They actually weren't in this. They weren't that bad.
No.
No.
No, we weren't. Funny story though, we watched A Quiet Place, Ghost Stories, and then the second half of Isle of Dogs, because we already watched the first half.
We watched both
in a row.
Both Office actors, one after the other.
Yeah, we did.
The American, then the English.
Tim and Jim, is that right? Jim and Tim.
Tim and Jim, yeah.
Yeah. In the first one, A Quiet Place,
yes,
we had someone's phone alarm.
An entire band of animals.
An entire farm go off. Have their phone alarm went off for a very long time because they couldn't get out of their bag or couldn't get it wherever it was.
I love how you're going to have a good old moment. We had someone's entire farm.
Entire farm marching into the screen. Yeah, someone's alarm went off for at least 3 minutes. At least 3 minutes. Was that it?
Yeah.
No, it was a.
No, it wasn't. No.
I thought it was this one.
Oh, it was. I'm
It
so
was
sorry.
there.
You're completely right. It's the.
That's great. Let's just see if I can find it quick on sounds.
Yeah.
Ringtone.
But do it quickly because otherwise.
What do you reckon it is? Apex?
No, it's
I
not.
wish it was that. It's lovely.
Awesome. I would have enjoyed that. I would have added to.
No, it's not that.
No, that's the one I was doing.
Where's the... Oh, do I need to go onto alarms, do you reckon, to get it?
It's the one, yeah.
I'm going to get it. It's worth getting up now just to...
Yeah.
So you can envision our watching of A Quiet Place. It was only for like the first 5 minutes of the film, but it was for a solid...
Went on for a
within the
very
first 5 minutes,
long
but
time.
yeah. It was long enough to be a piece of shit.
And in true British fashion, nobody said a thing.
It was just... Oh, waiting on.
Yeah, that was it. Do you know the funny thing about that one as well is there's a long enough gap for you to think, he's got it, he's turned it off.
Every time. And that's the thing you said about being British. Every time everyone thought it'd gone off. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what's more amazing is get out the screen.
Yeah.
Even better, the same guy had his alarm go off. Came into the next screen and watched Ghost Stories right after, which again is quite quiet.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened, it went off again.
Yeah. Honestly, that was so funny.
It's ridiculous. Back to the film. It's without going into spoilers to start. It is quite horror-y. It's quite conventional horror stuff.
Obviously, it's worth saying it's based on the stage show, and if you've seen the stage show, it's the same, pretty much.
Actually, no, it's because she is in the stage shows.
Because I'm in it.
Because she has a colourful background.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 times I
myself have only seen one stage show.
What's that?
Puppet show. Where I used to play puppets and put on my own face.
Have you never been to the theatre, like to the West End?
No.
Do you want to go?
No.
Let's arrange some plans while we're on air.
Yeah.
On air?
On air.
Not on the radio.
Yeah. Stage show. Yeah, it's
really, it's the same. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because now people are like
gonna know what's happened. You fucking did it. But you said it's quite different still though.
Yeah.
You were surprised at bits of it still, so let's not go cheating in it too. But then, how many people listen?
Oh yeah, no.
Of the 5 people that are going to listen to this podcast this week, how many of them have seen the stage show for this film and are here to listen to about ghost stories?
Yeah. There were bits in it that are in the film that they couldn't have done on stage, which were really cool.
Like the bit when they got jetpacks and they go through space. That bit.
Spoilers.
It's quite conventional horror stuff in terms of sagged old ladies and children in dresslets.
Sagged.
You know what I mean? It's very kind of conventional stuff and poltergeisty kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not really spoiler saying that, but it's done well.
There's a couple of bits in this that are creepy as all hell.
Yeah, I didn't laugh at a lot of it. I don't think I laughed. I don't know if any bit made me laugh because quite a lot of horror makes me laugh because it's like for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But this didn't
You
really.
seem genuinely quite terrified.
I wasn't, because I'd be honest, if I generally was shitting me up, I'd say, okay, this is quite shitting me up, because I always say about the Babadook, but...
Yeah. Oh, I really want to watch a film with you that really frightens you, because I've never seen you react to something that really gets you.
I don't... Yeah, I know, because it doesn't really happen, because it's all the same, a lot of stuff. It's all different, but it's really hard to get something that's actually genuine, because we don't watch stuff that will genuinely scare us.
I want to scare you.
Because we're not fucking idiots, so we don't want to watch satanic shit all
I
the time.
do want to scare you, but then I also don't want to scare you, because then if you get scared, then I get petrified.
Yeah,
and
you'll
then
be
I'll
worse,
be
and
like,
then I'll be come for you, and be like, fuck you,
yeah, because then I think, no, there
You're
is
sleeping on
genuinely
the outside of the bed tonight.
Yeah. You're sleeping near the door.
Anyway, the reason why bits this is good is, like we said, to do with the screen time of monsters is it's kind of to do with the jump scares as well. When you don't really see what's happening, you don't see what it is. They're a lot more terrifying.
Why are you looking at that? You look like you're on a video chat. Who are you talking to?
I'm on Skype. So mate, is that not alright?
No.
It's because the bar's going.
Oh, okay.
But it's not.
Continue. I just felt like I shouldn't even be here.
I just pretend you're not there sometimes.
Yeah, right.
It's. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I was saying because it's the kind of jump scare thing. There's a few jump scares in it, and before we get to the jump scares, it's a lot more interesting. There's a turn in this film. I won't go into spoilers yet. There's a turn in this film where it lost me a bit, which is a shame because I think it really took a dive at that point. Should we go into spoilers?
It's because it's what happens in the play.
Yeah, well, fuck the play. Fuck the police.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Spoilers? Spoilers. You moan about that guy's alarm again.
I wasn't doing that.
Yeah,
I wasn't touching.
I said you sound like you won't.
I was not laughing.
Yeah, it lost me. And I said this. I've been telling people at work, and they said, how is this without spoilers? I just said, it lost me at a point.
I didn't know what you said.
I've been telling people at work when they've asked me how Ghost Stories is, whether to go watch it or not. I said it loses me at a point. Which is, if you've watched it, when Martin Freeman shoots himself in the face, I was like, oh, okay, shit.
Yeah,
then after that bit, it takes a turn and tries to get more complicated, which is it all a dream? Is it not all a dream? Is it a setup? Is the devil real? Is all of this stuff? Which sometimes is quite nice to have some sort of complexities, but I like the fact that it was just about a guy who went around trying to understand, who doesn't believe in, believe in essentially paranormal activity
yeah,
kind of stuff.
because I think the reason it's so scary at the start is because he says, because obviously you have this guy that is trying to. Should we say what the story is?
You can now, spoilers.
I'm always conscious of we don't actually ever say what the films are about, and people may not have seen them.
Nah, don't have time for that.
All right. Well, anyway, yeah. Obviously, you have the guy that used to do what the main guy does, but like back in the day, and then obviously there's those cases that he can't solve, and I find that really terrifying. That obviously he saw something or read something or tried to investigate something that frightened him so much that he like couldn't continue on. Yeah. That's terrifying. That frightened me way more than because when it turns out that it is the main guy, he's insane and he's in hospital and he tried to kill himself. Which is very confusing. Yeah, you don't find out why he tried to kill himself. Do you?
I think it's the guilt of. Instead of being, but this is what's confusing.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's the guilt of okay. That's fine. Okay.
I love what we're trying to say. It's the guilt of when he let a kid. It isn't all his fault, but he was there when a kid died, and then he didn't do anything or tell anyone, so the kid was just never found, and everything was always ever found for a while.
Yeah.
He essentially didn't help the kid at all.
Sorry,
really.
We did say that, didn't it? Yeah. So we know why, but it takes away the whole thing of like paranormal things possibly being true.
Because it's him being insane.
Because it's just his dreams.
And it's all open-ended, because he could be having dreams, but he could be being haunted, and that's why we say it's his dreams, because he's in a coma, but what's quite odd is...
But they are dreams, because he's dreaming about the people that come into the room.
But he must have seen them to be dreaming, well, his eyes are open. But then what's weird about this, we say that, but the things that they come, at the end of the film, when they all come into the room, they all do their bits.
Yeah.
Like the stuff he's seen already. So it's this post his dreams, because that wouldn't make any sense, because if he just said it, I'm sure he doesn't repeat about fucking... He says about, fried rice, lovely. But like, he's not going to say that more than once in that room, is he? So he said that after he's had the dream of him saying that. That's what doesn't make any sense. That bit in hospital, if it was before the dreams, would make more sense. Because they inspire his dreams from what they say. It's very confusing. This is what's annoying about it. It was, like I said, it's more terrifying, more interesting when he essentially goes, right, I need to go and try and work out these 3 cases, because he can't work them out. And had they spent the second half of the film, instead of having this weird like dream sequence where Martin Freeman takes him round, which you see a lot now, it should have been he tries to work these cases out and has to face some stuff.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love when he went into the woods after he spoke to the kid who was stuck in the car. He went to the woods and just saw that big bit of tree and was like, oh, it's just the eyes see what they want to see. I was like, this is interesting, him investigating it.
Yeah.
And then when Martin Freeman shot himself, I was like, fuck, that's quite a heavy thing to happen. But it can still work, so it was horrible. Yeah. Like, it's quite a crazy like sort of turn in it, but then it was still working. So obviously they've all had terrible times.
I don't know how I would have wanted it to end, because I was going to say it would be quite nice if it just ended up that he got so messed up as well by those 3 cases that like it's almost like it claimed another one that never believed it, and now they do. So they obviously were real. But
that, or if he just gave up on the case and was like, I can't do it. But there was more stuff that he found out.
Because I guess if that happened, it would make, because obviously also all of those cases, they're all to do with guilt, all of them.
Yeah, because the first guy who was a like night guard was to do with his daughter.
With his daughter, had locked-in syndrome, so he saw a little girl, and then the second one was.
But why did he feel guilt about that? Was it
because he didn't go and see her for 5 years? Yeah. That's why. And then the second one.
Because he pretended to have his driving license and was lying to.
And he killed something in the forest. And then felt guilty about that.
But then that would have been part of the horror, because what he killed in the forest was a fucking weird werewolf. This is what's a bit weird with that one. He shouldn't have felt guilty for killing that, because he hit something that looked like a fucking demon.
Yeah, but he didn't know what it was.
No, I know, but like, why? But then it's weird because it was. What I'm saying is there was already something paranormal or strange before it kicked off.
Yeah, and actually,
he's just lied about his license.
Yeah. But his parents were awful as well.
Yeah, I know.
But it's quite a lot. I thought that as well. It's quite a lot to do with like children and parents.
Yeah.
It was all to do
Parenthood. There's a lot of horrors.
Which I was going to say, which is what is really good about the Babadook, is because obviously it's about her, like, she obviously has an illness, and obviously there's like some guilt involved with her
grief,
and the
wasn't it?
kid.
To do with her husband dying and having to deal with that.
Yeah, so maybe actually just leaving it like that would have been better. I don't know, but yeah,
would have been.
It just ruined it. It does ruin it. But actually, I didn't notice that so much in the stage show because you don't see it coming.
No.
In the stage show, and just the way it's done, and it ends
How long did you see the stage show as well? Because
the last time I saw it was probably about 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Because the film feels quite outdated to release now. Like the end. It's the first half.
But the stage show's really old.
That's what I mean. But like because the whole bit of where he lets the kid die and it's like they send him into the tunnels, like that has happened in a lot of films. Very similar.
Yeah, and it felt like an old situation. Like it felt like I know what you mean.
I know how they always present bullies, and I'm not like, but like it's always the main bully is a complete like can't turn him over, and then the second bully
is a chubby.
Is a chubby one, a bit smaller. He reminded me of Thingy from Harry Potter, the second bully.
Oh my god, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
And I was like, for God's sake, I was like, it was just it just ruined it. It just completely did. It was interesting about the cases and what was happening to these people. And it was quite generic stuff. Like I said, it was like a sagged old lady and a child in a dress.
What does sagged mean?
I don't know, like
droopy.
Yeah, droopy. It was all kind of generic stuff, but it worked because they did it well. Like it was the Poltergeist of Martin Freeman, but it was cool what it did. How it like flicked up into a cross. I was like, I don't care if it's quite generic, like horror tropes.
Yeah.
They were doing it really well.
Also, that looks really good on stage because that happens.
What they managed
all the stuff like goes up into the thing.
Or...
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's probably magnets or like strings because if you think those dolls where you can bend them over and they go all wobbly and then you let them go and they go they like ping back up.
Yeah,
it's a bit like that.
Those,
yeah, that's it, yeah. And all the towels and everything flick off and like that looks really cool.
All the backstories were good as well.
Yeah.
It got a bit. Do you know when it got a bit crazy? It got a bit crazy when it went to the boy because the first one was just one incident in a place that could have been haunted.
Yeah, the boy one is this sort of sticks out a little bit, doesn't it?
Everything seems fucked. That's why. Because Martin Freeman again could have been a haunting. The first dude could have been a haunting because he was in like a crazy place. Martin Freeman was obviously like a haunted in his house. Then the boy was essentially what happened out on the road. Yeah. But then at his house, his parents were fucking terrifying. That was creepy. His parents were stood there with their arms down the side.
I don't understand what that was all about.
Just because it doesn't need to make sense. It's just he's having nightmares, isn't he? Because he's at the end he's in a coma. So it doesn't need to make sense, but it was annoying because that's why the boy wants to look out because it was like, what the fuck is going on here then?
That's so scary. Oh, do you know what I thought was really nice is that he was really, really cold in the car. He was like... and he was obviously freezing. And then when he was in his room, he was like, I just like to have it warm. Like I always like to be... really warm.
In his overacting ways.
He's so annoying. He's so annoying.
We've been talking about this for quite a while already.
Yeah, well.
Poo. Well, shit. Should we?
There's a lot to talk about.
I know there is. Should we refer back to? We refer back to it when we talk about. We talk about like how much you show the monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll bring back up, but we'll probably leave the review for this here. What are you giving out of 10?
Can I just mention one more thing?
Yeah, of course you
can. The scariest... I just wanted to mention the scariest bits, really.
Scariest bits?
Yeah, we haven't even talked about what was really scary.
Well, no, because I was going to say save it for monster or not, because the scariest bits to me are when you have to kind of squint.
Fine.
What I was going to say about it.
Yeah, it's fine. What would I give it? I don't know, what would you give it? I can't think.
7.7.
Okay.
I did think it was pretty good.
Yeah,
because it did it really well. It was really well shot. And it was
I'm
really
going to
good.
go 7.7 too.
Copycat.
I am.
Until it would have been higher. It would have been much higher. It would have gone maybe to 9 if it had stuck to the same level later on.
Yeah.
It was funny as well because it was very British, which made me laugh for the first half.
Yeah. The bit where Martin Freeman shot himself and Prit doesn't happen on stage, but that was flipping terrifying. That was horrible because he seemed like quite together.
I just imagine that in the stage play of him just going like how crazy in films he literally goes. Imagine in the stage play if he just went. Just imagine him doing that. We're going bang, shouting it and falling back.
I am dead. I am fallen.
I am grief. Fucking laugh. Alright, should we go on to the
just like
main
made me
event?
laugh and then it made me keep laughing. It's on 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I know, but because it's positive. It's the whole thing, isn't it? Because there's not like it's more positive reviews.
Yeah.
Should we go on to the main event of the evening?
Yes. Shh.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know either.
A Quiet Place.
Quiet Place.
Which is a lot bigger. No, I don't mean like I expect it to be good. A lot bigger in terms of it's smashing the box office.
Yes, it is.
There are so many puns at the moment about that. One said A Quiet Place is making noise in the box office. There was one that said A Quiet Place is silencing its competitor. There was just stuff like that. Yeah, just shit like that. I didn't expect everyone to be going to see it. I mean, you're getting all kinds of audiences.
Yeah, you are.
It's annoying.
But
it's not the film you want to, because they're loud as fuck when they're watching it. It's a quiet film.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is, I would say with this, try and wait until there's not as many people going to see it, because it would be great. It's way better to watch it quietly, but it's definitely one to watch at the cinema. So don't wait till it comes out on DVD. But also,
try and go to a smaller screen. Your indie cinemas, your private.
Yeah, or try and just go during the afternoon or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll start with non-spoilers then.
Yeah.
I know it lived up to your expectations. I said it lived up to mine too. If you haven't already, if you haven't seen already, try to avoid the trailers, because it will be better without watching them. It doesn't spoil it, but then it's a shame, because it's the same as any trailers really. The biggest suspensey kind of moments, not all of them, but some of the biggest suspenseful moments are in the trailer, which is frustrating with every film.
Some of them are, yeah.
I remember especially the first trailer for this film, because at the very start when this first came out, you have no idea what it is, and they've said a lot since about what it is. And that last trailer I just saw earlier, my god, it says completely what's going on. I was like, shit in hell.
It's a shame.
Anything else to say before non-spoilers? We don't need to, because
I was just going to say though that although a lot of the stuff was in the trailer, it still turned out different, and it's not like, oh, I know what's going to happen next all the time.
No, not at all. I wouldn't say you'd be able to predict.
No, but I'm just saying, because a lot of the time when we say about trailers and we say, oh, loads of it was in the trailer, we say, obviously you just knew what was going to happen, but you didn't with this, which was great. Spoilers!
It's the whole thing with trailers as well. People, oh nice, starting it. Yeah, the last trailer I just saw. Now we're in spoilers. You heard it, peeps. In the trailers, we saw that it said about, and I just saw the third one. They say about an alien invasion, and they say about it wiping people out.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's fucking loads of information in that trailer. I didn't realise it didn't even say it was aliens for what we watched. I hadn't seen, like I said to you, what I had read, which I didn't say to you before we went in, that came up as an article title, was it said John Krasinski explains the aliens or creatures design. I was like, well, no, it's a fucking creature now. Because you had the whole thing on here. You said you might have thought it might have been a human. It could have been just a big ass person. Remember when we watched the trailer for ages ago?
Oh yeah, I said they looked a bit human. Yeah. I didn't think it was just a standard.
No. You thought it was a yeti.
Just so you know. A yeti.
Oh, we're gonna make short. We should make a short film about a yeti. That'd be interesting.
That will be. Yeah.
I'll just put my hand down and stick some hair up on it.
Or Loch Ness monster.
That'd be hard. But how would you do that?
I'll just get
a rubber ding.
I'll get in some sort of snake.
Snake.
I was say snake-like costume. I'll get in the just ride around. It'd be fun.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You start with the spoilers first. So this film.
I don't even know where to start. I'm so
excited.
We'll
in order. So start with the first few minutes. So the first few minutes, as you see in the trailers, obviously everyone knew that kid was going to play the rocket ship. If you've seen the trailers, and the creature, you see it running in the trees, so you know it's been alerted.
And you see him you see
John Krasinski
his
running.
father running to try and save him. Yeah.
And then
what we did not expect was John Krasinski was not going to make it in time, and it gets snatched.
Yeah, because she just gets completely snatched. Were you listening to it with me when I said something about maybe the creature doesn't doesn't like hearing, and it hates the sounds, and that's why it doesn't eat its prey. It doesn't eat the things that it hears.
It says it probably doesn't eat them. It just, because there's dead bodies, so it probably doesn't eat them. It just
kills them. Maybe because it doesn't like the sound.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Maybe it just wants to. Maybe it's just it wants to work in a library and it doesn't like any sound. Have the library start employing these creatures. That'd be interesting.
And I think it's like a. Oh, excuse me. It's like a It might not even be that it is a bad creature. It doesn't know.
Maybe it's just his job.
Maybe it just doesn't know.
Maybe they were here first.
No, they weren't.
Saying that, the creature is very similar, or quite similar looking to the creature from 10 Cloverfield Lane, and that's why I said to you, looking at this film, I could imagine this if they slapped a Cloverfield title on this. I could see it as a Cloverfield film.
Yeah.
And ironically, I saw something yesterday that said the writers were thinking of making a Cloverfield film, and I think
you
people
didn't say that before you saw that.
Huh?
You didn't say.
No,
that
I didn't say it. I said it
felt.
Would
have been insane prediction.
No, I said it felt like it. It felt, and especially felt like 10 Cloverfield, because again, the paranoia, you don't see what it is straight away.
Yeah.
It's going to weave into the whole conversation about seeing or not seeing the monster. First few minutes of the film, the intro is very good because that kid gets swiped, and you do not expect that.
Yeah,
It's
honestly,
brutal.
I was fully on board with this already because Emily Blunt's in it and John Krasinski's in it, and they're like two of my absolute favourites. And he directed it, and it's about family and aliens. I was just like fully on board anyway.
Yeah.
But as soon as that happened at the start, I was like, I'm in, I'm gone. Because it could be, I just did not see it. I didn't think that would happen.
No, I don't know how we didn't put it. Yeah, we just said watching the trailer back, and we've seen the trailer that way. I just looked at it. We don't know how we put it together. I think it's because you saw John Krasinski carrying one of their sons in her arms.
Yeah.
I thought it was the son that he grabbed.
Yeah, I didn't even realise there was 3 children.
No.
I don't think I realised there was 5 of them. Because we deliberately didn't watch the trailer very much, and we didn't even watch it the whole way through. Yeah.
Oh god, I'm gonna die.
Are you choking?
Oh.
Do you want some water? We haven't
Got a
got
little bit of wheat in my throat.
Wheat-o.
Fucking
Bit of
Wheato.
Mulan.
Fucking Mulan.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
No.
But then it's weird because I just saw I just watched the trailer back to find that rocket noise at the start of this episode.
Yeah.
Their daughter walks up to the cross on the bridge. It's like
Yeah.
someone, like, a lot of people must have put that together because the cross is directly
And if you've
where that kid
watched
was
it a
stood.
bunch of times,
Yeah.
which we didn't. As I
It's
said,
like
on
there
purpose.
must be, which would ruin it. So I'm glad we didn't.
I'm
so
so
avoid
glad
trailers that
because
will cost.
fair play for them, like killing off the tiny cute baby at the start. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
This that's what I was saying about the start.
I
Sorry,
like
just
it.
before that happened
mhm.
with the batteries.
Yeah.
This film's very good at deceptively making you think something is going to go one way and not the other. Because I thought it made me laugh a little bit at the start. Because when John Krasinski takes the batteries out of the rocket ship, he puts them on the side
Yeah.
and he lays them flat.
Oh, look at
And
that.
I'm like, you fucking idiot!
They're
You're
gonna
gonna
roll.
start that. I'm gonna fucking roll off the table.
Isn't that great though? Because what is that, like a minute and a half in? You're already going, oh my god, don't leave the batteries on their side. Like it's great. It is just so
I
good.
hope they did that on purpose. I mean, it would be funny.
I feel like they probably I feel like they did most of it on purpose.
Yeah. It made me laugh because, like, okay, they're doing it for suspense because you're like, oh, fuck, you're going to roll. But someone's like, why would you fucking do that, you idiot? You know
They're
better
so
than
smart,
to do that.
Yeah. But he just makes sure they're not moving. Though.
No,
it's
I
not
know,
like
but
he
still,
just
it's a
like
risk.
chucks them on the side. Yeah.
No,
I feel like one's up and one's on its side
no,
as well.
they're both on their
They're
side.
both on their side.
I
okay.
looked at it so closely, I was like, you fucking idiot.
Oh,
Yeah, he
fair
just
enough.
goes out of his hand. He puts his hand over them so they just stay still.
Yeah.
That's still risky.
Yeah.
Because batteries will stay still and they just suddenly start
But
rolling.
maybe he's thinking it's better that they're on their side
So they don't get
than
knocked over.
yeah, if they get knocked over. Though.
Yeah.
I
But,
never thought you'd analyse the putting down of the battery
Yeah.
so much.
Well,
Um,
very cynical with films. We need to make sure we little things right. Yeah.
I like as well that they didn't like. There was no big explanation of why, because they obviously had hiked out to find medicine for the oldest son, but you never find out why. You don't find out what was wrong with him and stuff. It was just like, it just.
He looked bald at the start because he had that hat on. Because that was the son that obviously is later on in the film.
Yeah.
Who looks very different.
Yeah,
Looks
he
like
did
a-
look different.
But the hat, I think it's the hat at the
Yeah.
start. I don't know why he's ill. I think he probably just had an infection or a
Yeah,
fever
I
or
think he's
something.
just he's unwell, but it's like that. Not everything has to be sort of gone into massive detail.
No.
Quite like that.
Did they explain why their daughter's deaf at all?
No,
I would have
no,
preferred
because
it.
she's deaf from the start, isn't she?
Yeah. See, they could have. That would have been, for logic's sense, she could have had an ear infection that they couldn't help, and gone deaf. Which I would have brought, I would have brought that more than she was brought, because, like I said to you, her deafness needed to be integral to the plot. Because otherwise, I know, like I said, I understand diversity is good in films, but what are the chances that you have a deaf daughter in a world where no one's speaking, and where it would be do you get what I mean? It's kind of like it played a big part, and it kind of needed to. Otherwise, there wasn't the point of doing that.
Yeah.
And yes, you want diversity, but like what I mean is to be deaf is such a typical thing in a world where that's going to affect it,
like Hush.
Yeah.
It's not in a word, but yeah, no, I know,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. No, I know.
But if they'd said if she wasn't always deaf, if she had hearing when she was born or bad, or if because obviously people start with hearing and they have bad infections and it eventually gets to the point where they lose their hearing. Had that happened, they even just like a passing sentence,
Yeah.
and said they couldn't help
You
because
know
they
who's
didn't
trying
have
to
the right
make
medicine.
her a new. Trying to make her a thing she could
I
hear.
call them, yeah. Why we've gone what they're called?
Like a hearing aid.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just a standard hearing aid, was
No,
it?
'cause it
Because
went
it was
onto
a
her
magnet to her head, yeah.
I don't know how hearing aids work because I think I've seen things like that.
Oh, I have
possibly.
seen them before, but yeah, I think that's what's a cochlear implant? Is that
God
something
knows.
inside your? Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, obviously, yeah.
But who's trying to make her into one of those?
Yeah.
God knows how he knows how to. Assume he's read fan books. Or...
Because she had one on at the start, but it wasn't working.
How many did she change? She changed once. She had one at the start, and then he made her a new one. She trying to push it away.
Why did she have it on if it didn't work?
Because I think it was still helping.
Was it like she could hear like it's almost like she could hear
she
like
could hear
she was underwater?
Because when the creature was near, it was going and it was hurting her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I mean. It didn't really go into it.
But
massively.
whenever they sort of focused onto her, everything went silent.
Yeah, because she's dead.
Maybe she's keeping it on, like on the off chance that it might work at some point. Yeah. Anyway,
it's probably one of those plot things, isn't it? If she didn't have it on, then it wouldn't affect the creature, so you could never use that as a plot point. Yeah. Essentially, which is fine. I think every film has to do that. And that's fine with that bit because you can explain it away, which is fine.
Like I said, I don't know if you agree, but any things in this, like obviously we'll talk about like things that were very made very obvious that didn't probably need to be, but things like those bits in there. One, if
she's gone.
I was gonna say it's his first film, but that shouldn't make any difference. No, I forgive them because. The film's so good.
Yeah, and like I said, every film does have it, but it's more about if you can explain them away, it's better than if you can't, and you can explain them. There's some bits in here, like I said, that are a bit like, but I don't know how down to the director.
There's nothing in here that you can't explain away, but.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why it's better because you can explain this stuff away. Like you can explain her hearing her away, and it's very obvious for the plot. But you can say, well, maybe she has it on because she's hoping that it will work. Yeah. What's the difference with this? I think, as a total as a film saying about idiots' choices is. They don't, in a lot of horror stuff, you get pissed off because the people in the horror film, regardless if they're doctors, scientists, whoever they are fucking idiots in most horror, especially in mainstream horror. And I'm classing this maybe as mainstream horror because it is in cinemas, it's doing very well. Yeah. And so for mainstream horror,
it's clearly got a budget.
And big actors, celebrities.
Yeah.
It's.
Would it have got Emily Blunt if they weren't married? Probably not.
Yeah, it kind of. They're not stupid. Like they actually are doing smart stuff, and it's quite interesting to watch how. I've watched like an interview. We watched an interview with John Krasinski saying about the ideas like the Monopoly pieces. Yeah. Are soft bit, and that's such a that's something to put that much thought that they're not using metal Monopoly pieces like you would and like go across the board. They're using like soft bits.
And they roll the dice on a blanket and. They have marks like where they can walk and they don't.
Yeah, they've made trails of like sand. He was laying it again, obviously where it scatters, and obviously if it rains, it will poop it up. But yeah, they have like
poop up. Oh God.
They have like, and obviously they all go barefoot. Didn't he say about socks?
Yeah, he said that he had thought about having them all wear socks, but in reality, how often they're going to get destroyed like on a daily basis? How would you keep washing that many socks all the time?
Yeah, so he went barefoot.
And he was saying as well that he thought it was better that they were barefoot because they'd be able to feel instantly if they were about to step on something loud.
Which is interesting. When you said that, I was like trying to think of what you would step on with realising you probably wouldn't step as heavy, I imagine. And there probably isn't as much weight. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. It's nice.
I think you'd really get to feel as well, like if something was about to creak or if something was going to crack or something like that on your feet. So.
But they kicked a Snickers wrapper and we're done.
We were saying though, weren't we? It was so nice because it's such a great idea and such a lovely idea that you just want it to be done so well, and we didn't come out going, oh, so annoying because it's such a good idea and they just did not they didn't do it justice, or like you wouldn't do that or you wouldn't do this, you do this, and everything they did, it was like yes.
The only thing I said was, why would you have another child, you douche?
Yeah, I know.
Why? It's very risky.
It is, yeah. Do you know what I was thinking as well? Isn't it only like 300 and something days since their son died to when the baby was born?
I think it's like 800. I think the start was 72 or 79 days, something like that, since it started. Yeah. Maybe 89 days since it started, and then this is 420. I think it was, so it's about a year after their first son died.
So I'm saying, it's quite soon after that she must have got pregnant.
Yeah, it must have been. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stuff with the baby that makes up for that bit, which I like, is it wasn't like when she went pregnant, they had like when she went pregnant.
Oh, she's gone pregnant.
When she started having the baby, they didn't like go, oh god, what are you doing now? They had stuff set in place,
Yeah,
like massively. Not even just like the lights were cool. Obviously, they set the lights to rid the city. I think that's probably just. I don't know if that's for. They didn't say again. You don't know. You have to assume either it's for emergency or it's because it means the baby's coming. Yeah. But she turned all the lights outside red to sort of warn them that the baby was coming, and then also. They had like the mattress as like the door to the basement where they'd obviously soundproofed it as much as they could. It was amazing when they took the baby down. When as soon as she finished having the baby, they put a mask. They put the
which you saw her set up earlier in the film as well.
Yeah, you did actually. She was playing, wasn't it? I didn't even realise what she was doing until I saw the baby.
Oh, I did. I'm so smart. I'm so much cleverer than you.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Because
it was you're a trash person. Get out.
Trash person.
Get out. Because it was like the tiniest little oxygen.
I thought it was just for a hamster.
Oh yeah.
I thought a hamster kept fucking.
Too much noise. You know what I was thinking? You know the animals that were on the roof and fell onto the floor?
The raccoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were raccoons.
I wish they hadn't done that. I don't like the jump scare of the raccoons because the raccoons are doing jump scares in too many. Like they're a bit like.
Raccoons are doing jump scares.
Too many jump scares. They're shitting me up. I'm sure I'm going to sleep tonight. I'm going to give fucking raccoons.
I'm scared of raccoons now.
And the bloody bins. No, but they always in the film.
Sorry, let me just interrupt you and finish my point.
I'm joking. Right, go. What you were saying? I'll say after.
Go on. The raccoons are taking over. Go on.
I was just going to say no. You finish. You finish, Squire.
All I was going to say is, how the hell have those raccoons survived up until that point? They always make noise.
Maybe they release a sequel about those raccoons, and the poster will be one of them shushing themselves, and they've been living silent, just like maybe they live in one of the other houses, and they light the fires.
Oh,
maybe they're different animals. Maybe it's like a kind of Noah's Ark situation where the fires are lit by different animals.
2 by 2.
Why did you say 2? Why were you quoting Noah's Ark?
The animals lit their fires 2 by 2.
2 by 2?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The animals went in 2 by 2.
Yeah, no, I get what it's from, you muppet. I'm saying, what do you mean they lit it 2 by 2? What? 2 animals lit it at a time?
I was just saying 2 by 2 because that's what.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
Come on then, tell me about the raccoons.
That happens way too much in every horror film. It's like the fucking.
The raccoons are doing way too many jump scares.
In horror films, it's like the fucking deer in the road, where it's like the car always has to hit a fucking animal in the road.
Yeah.
And then in this, it has to be like if it's not, there's either something messing around by the bins, and then it runs off, and you're oh thank God it was just like this little rodent. Yeah. And then about 10 minutes later, when everything's calm again, you see the creature get the rodent.
Yeah.
And it did it in this, and it's just a shame there's little bits like that. But like I said, he doesn't. The thing is, John, again, I understand that he said he doesn't really like horror, and he obviously watched quite a lot of horror for this.
Yes.
But like, if you've not spent the time watching it, you probably don't know what you'd see a lot in. And again, I don't think it's always down to him. I mean, you have producers, and like I said, a lot. I think
producers, and it's not his script as well. No. So I don't know.
That's what I mean. The only stuff I disliked about this, and it wasn't like ruining the movie, it was just a bit of a shame that I said there's bits that made me feel like it was a bit hand-holdy.
Let's just get them out of the way. Like because I feel like we're saying how good it is, and then we're just saving up to go, yeah, but...
Alright. Only problems with this film were...
the boards.
Like any film, too much in the trailer, like I said, but that's not really the film's fault, that's marketing.
Yeah.
The boards, did you say?
The boards.
Oh, right, the whiteboards, yes. So you have, on the boards, which I think quite a few people would agree, it's just a bit silly how it's written on the boards, because you have about the creature, he has all the CCTV set up, and then there's I think it's one whiteboard, and it's got a line in the middle, it's got 2 things written on it. It says how the creature works. I can't remember it word from word, but it basically says creature can't see, no sight,
like blind,
works on hearing.
Yeah, hearing, that it has armour, and that there's 3 in the area, and what's their weakness.
Yeah. What's their weakness is written
just
on the right side.
Just the fact that we can quote everything that's written on that whiteboard shows that it's shown too much.
Yeah. And that it's too, you don't need it written down.
I do totally agree with you. I don't even mind that it's written down. I don't mind that because I can totally buy that because people do that. They do write, big keywords down. I do it myself.
Yeah. But their life is based off of that.
Yeah, no, I know. I know.
It's like putting on a whiteboard, walk out the front door to get out.
Yeah, and actually, you can gather all of that stuff from just watching. But, yeah.
That's what I mean. It puts it on there to try and that's what I'm saying. It's a shame because I feel like whoever's put it there, whoever's idea it was to put on that board, which might have been the writers, whoever it was, is very handholdy. At first, when you first see the whiteboard, you're looking at the CCTV. You're watching John Cruise looking at the CCTV.
Yeah.
and it kind of goes past the boards, and you see a little bit of the boards, and I was like, okay, if that's all they're going to show of that, it's fine. It's not enough written there for me to go see it again.
I totally agree.
And then they go back to him like, for fuck's sake. And it's the fact it says, what is their weakness? And weakness is circled, because the plot is about finding their weakness a little. It's not central about that, but the film, they find the weakness. And she
looks at it right at the end. She's like, this is their weakness.
Yeah. We'll get on. Actually, do you want to say about the end now? Because I'll say that's one I'm not sure about the end of the film.
The gun.
That and like, so the end of the film, they obviously found a way to defeat the monsters, which is is to do with how they hear. It's obviously to do with like radio waves.
So this is like getting it on a high enough frequency that it like
it's
destroys
like with a dog with higher frequencies. It's essentially because its whole face is like ears essentially.
Yeah.
And it just fucks the creature up. So they found a way to like, and that broke its armor off. Like it was squealing, and it basically popped its arm, and then she shot it to finish it.
Yeah.
I like that she didn't work out, and that she shot it just to try and protect her daughter as like a last hope. That was fine. But then
because it got back up, didn't it?
Yeah, it got back up.
I like
but
that.
And then she like panicked and turned around and shot it. And she didn't do. She was like, it's going down. The shields are down.
She just
like,
freaked out. That
and
was
then
good.
they worked out that way.
Yeah.
And then the end of the film is her daughter picks up the hearing aid. And picks up the hearing aid and be like, oh, this works. And then she cocks her shotgun. It's the last shot of the film. She goes, and I was like, I get that she's probably angry about her husband, but this whole film, she doesn't seem like the kind of woman to, like, when she's distraught, let's fucking do this, motherfucker! Like, it kind of... It felt like quite an actiony kind of last shot. I don't mind.
I think she had a bit of a smile. Cool. I think if she hadn't smiled, it wouldn't have been so... Did she have a smile?
I don't think she smiled. I just think she didn't
Not
look
a smile,
upset.
but like a, let's do this.
Look. Yeah, that's what I mean. She did that kind of
if she didn't, I wouldn't have minded that.
Even if she didn't do that, she didn't need to hold out. Even if she just went... If she had it low, she had the shotgun low and went...
Yeah.
Like, but she kind of like went... Hoo!
Yeah.
Ooh, motherfucker! It was kind of like... over the top of it. And also, do you know why? It's only because I didn't
want... She just like smiled at the girl or something.
Yeah.
Like, at least we know now how to...
Yeah.
Try and take them on. What we were saying that we do like about the end is you see them running at the house, but you're not going to know whether they managed to kill them or not, which is nice. Great.
Yeah, because you just see them on the CCTV coming out of the house, which is cool. And it was kind of creepy. Another thing I did also love
the element of that he'd only just died when they worked it out. That was a bit like no.
And his death had nothing to do with them working it out either.
No. Yes.
It wasn't like he sacrificed himself for his kids, and that was the point. Again, this film is about parenting. It's the same as I always defend Signs, and this is why I have to not be hypocritical about it. The film, like, you got what I'm saying? Like, Signs, people are hypocritical, but the point of the film is about believing and having faith.
Yeah.
So I don't criticise how the aliens work in that film.
No,
so
and again, it's about family and protecting your children. And,
And same with this is about raising, like, people are like, I know people at work, I was defending this film because people were saying, oh, it's stupid, like, the kids are annoying and they do silly shit, and it's like, but the whole point was that kids do silly shit, because do silly shit, because their children like the thing with the rocket. Silly? Well, not silly, but the kid steals the they're basically saying because he put the batteries back on, there was a whole criticism that, why would a kid that's been living in this world, why would he be silly enough to then go take the batteries, put them back in the rocket and play it out loud?
Same as you tell a 4-year-old not to pick up stuff off the floor and eat it, but they still do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. The whole point of this film is to, like, the mistakes they make and then the regret they feel because they didn't do...
Yeah, honestly, that is one of my the best bits is when she wakes up just after she's had the baby and she starts saying, oh my god, I feel like you're going to get a love with it. When she says about that she had both her hands free and that she, like, why didn't she carry him? I was thinking that as like when he got taken and she like puts her hands over her mouth and she like sort of like starts to go to the floor, she obviously realises there's no way he's going to get there in time. I love that as well, by the way, that there's not like a, oh my god, quick. It's literally as soon as she hears the noise, she knows that he's gone.
Yeah.
I know he runs like no one's business, but he obviously knows as well he's not going to make it there in time. But I love that she almost like reacts like he's gone already. I thought that was great. But yeah, I just that because as soon as
it shows it from the death scale point of view, and it's inside she just sees them reacting forever, which is really nice.
Oh my god!
That well.
When they went to her, I was like, oh my god, please show him start running like in silence because that is going to look so amazing, and they didn't. It was amazing. I was going to say, yeah, and she woke up and she started saying, how she had her hands free and that she could have carried him. As soon as that bit happened, I was thinking, all she's going to be thinking, like all her mother or her father would think is, that, why wasn't I carrying them? I wasn't carrying anything.
I thought, well, why would you not make sure they didn't pick the toy back up? Because they left him in the shop and he picked the batteries back up. They didn't
I was more thinking, why is he at the back?
Yeah.
I'd have him at the front.
You'd have one of them one of the parents at the front.
I did think that was a strange thing because with your with parents that. Yeah, but then you hear parents say that, don't you? Why did I do that? That I always have them in front of me. Why would I let them walk behind? I never have done that before. So
that's what I mean. Like John Krasinski said, he made this because it's about parenting, and they are both. They are obviously they're together, the two people in this, and they have children. And there's, I guess, it's the whole point about people make mistakes and about what you do to protect your children.
Well, she says, doesn't she? Like, who are we if we can't protect them? And what are we doing?
I like. See, some bits I really like. So when John Krasinski dies because he shouts to save his kids, I like that he just didn't shout to save his daughter, because that would have been very much so like he hasn't, like, it's like he doesn't love her.
Yeah.
They had that whole point of him not, like, because of what happened. If it then had been his son was fine but she was in trouble and he just saved her alone, it would have felt more kind of forced. Yeah. It's the whole kind of thing where everything flows so perfect. It's kind of like unbelievable because both his kids were in trouble. Mainly his son. Yeah. Because he made the noise. He then shouted to save them both.
But he does tell her, like, it's nice because otherwise it would have been that whole thing like, I love you, I always have. Yeah. And now I'm just going to save you. So, that was great.
But that's what I mean, like, and obviously you said, like when I said his son speaking to him, it's like, why don't you tell her every once in a while that you love her and stuff? I'm not keen on that bit because I didn't need that scene to know. I know that it hits to make him realise, but I just wasn't keen on that scene. But anyway, then at the end...
Do you know why I didn't mind it?
Why?
Because there was no point in it where I thought he's blaming her. There was no point where I thought he doesn't love her anymore. No. It's obviously just something that the family could feel. Yeah. It's not something, because I was thinking...
She felt guilty, so she would have felt
like... Yeah, because he said she blames herself all the time, and I feel like that's maybe something that... It was more that he was telling him she blames herself rather than him saying it actually comes across like you don't love her, because I was wondering as soon as that happened, I thought, I wonder if they're going to be, or if he or if the mum, or if one of them, or if both are going to be really off with her now, but they weren't. And I really liked that because it didn't feel like it had he been like, oh, I don't love you anymore, or like it's very obvious that he was blaming her, and then the son had said, oh, you need to tell her that you love her, then I wouldn't have liked it. But I didn't mind it because he didn't seem like he didn't love her. So I didn't.
I know what you mean.
That's why I didn't. I didn't. That's why I didn't mind that bit. Yeah. I know what you're saying though, because if it had,
No, it's only because he told me, why didn't you tell her that more often? I was like, I know he said about being direct. I was like, the way it was worded, I was like, it's quite a lot for him to say for his age. But it didn't bother me that much. That's what I'm saying. I like the fact that it would be worse if later on then he said to his daughter, I've always loved you, like, and gave her a big old speech, because he doesn't. He sort of says, he obviously hugs her and says, I love you, but he says it to both of them again, like you've saved him. I'm glad they had this. I completely forgot about this. I'm glad they had the bit with him and Emily Blunt's character when they put the headphones and they're dancing together. Because other than that, if you hadn't had that scene, they don't look like they're very happy together in the film, I don't think.
I know what you mean. But do you know, and I also loved it because obviously they don't have that much time to just be like alone together. Yeah. But literally that one scene.
And the whole thing of losing a kid as well.
Yeah. And literally that one scene was so gorgeous.
That's the way I do with the headphones.
Yeah, and the way he turned around and he like just looked at her, and then he was like, beautiful, and then they had that little dance, and literally that's all, like you said, that's all. Huh?
That really, when she kept going like, like saying, no, I'm not, I'm ugly kind of thing.
Yeah, and she went.
Yeah.
I just puffed my cheeks out. I realise you can't see what I'm doing. She's so good.
It's nice that they had a bit more calmer scenes, because again you need to see this family a bit when they're sort of inside and safe. With the baby, when the room's flat, that's one thing that makes me laugh. So this is what made me laugh at this film. So much goes wrong in like, such a little time. Like when he fell. Okay, I laughed when the son fell through into the corn tank. Yeah. I think it is corn. Because if people said it's corn. Made me laugh because like, what else could go wrong? He fell through the fucking door. Like, it's like a trap door into the corn. Which again, that was a very cool little thing to do, the corn and have it all falling in, like sinking in corn, because you don't see that. Like the concept's not really used, which is quite cool, because it would usually be water if it was just in the film, or lava. Oh god. The whole nail thing was interesting. She stood in the nail was even worse, because they tricked you, because you thought the nail was just going to be that it was pulling on the bag and was going to rip the bag earlier on, but then later on it's just that she stepped on it because she's a fool and didn't look. with the baby.
Yeah.
After she's unconscious, and then the baby's in its cot floating on the water when it's flooded, which makes me laugh because there's a flood. When the baby's floating in its cot, the lid isn't on.
No.
It's open. But who opened it? I was very confused because I thought it made it look like the creature had already gotten the baby. And I think that's what they were trying to go for, because she looked terrified and it looked like it had been ripped open.
Yeah.
But the baby was still there.
Don't know.
It was really... Do you get what I mean? It looked like it was ripped open because there was no lid on it and it looked kind of clawed at, but then the baby was still in there absolutely fine, so they hadn't seen the baby yet.
Or maybe it had just clawed the lid off.
And got it accidentally pulled it.
Yeah, or the baby might not have cried. Might not have woken up.
Yeah, it's really strange a bit unless they just took the lid off, because it might have just... It looked took on, but it looked on because it maybe looked like it was a bit like cushioned.
Yeah.
I know.
It was horrible. Do you know what I really loved and hated? What? Not hated like, oh, I wish they hadn't done it like that. I hated it because it was horrible, but it was really good because it looked like a little coffin.
Yeah.
Because it was padded. I was like, oh, it's almost like as soon as it's born, you're putting it straight into a coffin. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But clever if that's what they kind of were.
It was also good that they made her, again, I hate it, I like that they made her pregnant in this, because how it's like, well, right, they're fine being quiet, what's going to be trouble for them?
Yeah.
Having to have a baby in silence, essentially.
Gosh, she does it so incredibly well as well.
Yeah. It's very... What do you mean when she has the baby as well? And she's like... Yeah. And then they skip over it because they can't really show an entire pregnancy.
No. Well, they could have, but I just don't think they really needed to that much.
I don't know. What's something else about it?
It's so incredible. I know it's obviously I'm going to think this, but it's so incredibly well acted. I can't.
It is well done. It's a shame because you wish, because it feels like to me, in my head, it feels like Emily Blunt wasn't in it much, but I think that's just because they don't say anything. It feels like John Krasinski was in it more, but I think that's just because.
Yeah.
Because you see it as much as her at home. I don't know why it just feels like she's not in it as much.
I kind of feel like she was in it more than him. I don't know why. Yeah.
I think she is, but I don't know why in my head I've got it as in she wasn't in it masses.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I think it's because her character isn't always as so involved in the plot, because it isn't her. It isn't the whole the vibe between her not loving her daughter or
Loved that bit with the son when he was saying that he was scared and he didn't want to go, but obviously they needed he couldn't go alone. But
also he's picking him and not his daughter.
Yeah.
Which was strange. Because the whole point of playing off that.
Yeah, but I also think it was tough to keep her safe. Like, she can't hear anything. It is more dangerous. It is technically is.
Yeah. Which they say a little bit in there, don't they? About it, because it's in, because...
But I don't think it is because he didn't love her. I think it is just because he was trying to be smart about it. But yeah, I love that whole bit with the son when she was saying, like, you don't have to be scared. Like, your father will always protect you. And she's like, so you can look after me and the baby. Like, when I'm old and I've got no teeth. And I've got grey and stuff like just.
Doesn't she mimic that she doesn't? She goes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's just lovely. It's just so many gorgeous bits, and it's just it's really touching.
Right. As well, what you just said about because it's how the whole idea they're saying they don't take her, but it might not even just be because it's safe for her. It's just he might have regrets. He might be like, for fuck's sake, like, I'm going to be more like, I don't want her as much to come now because of what happened. But it doesn't mean he doesn't love her. It just means he knows that like she made a mistake and it was a pretty stupid thing to do.
A huge one, yeah.
Yeah, and then they can we can't risk those mistakes. And it's like, it's okay, it wasn't your fault, like it was a mistake, but now we can't risk those mistakes.
She made a mistake, but she didn't give him the batteries.
Did he take the batteries, or didn't he? Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's no one's. It's it's all of their mistakes at the same time, because they all left the batteries mistake. In his...
Like no one did anything wrong.
No.
It's just one. It's a family mess.
Yeah.
Family.
So they didn't put the batteries out of his reach. It was a mistake that happened. I'm sure they didn't mean to. There's anything else to say on it? Oh yeah, I was going to say, when we just talking about the ending, I have no issue with the ending other than the pumping shotgun, but I would have liked. I think I would have liked the ending more. I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but I would have liked it more had they not killed a creature and figured out how to beat them. Because that reminds me of 10 Cloverfield Lane in the sense that I don't like that it has to be overcoming it. I would have just liked it that they had to keep running.
Yeah.
Because the thing with the creatures in this, what's so great about this creature and different to other films...
I guess that we don't actually definitely know that it was dead.
What, the first one?
Yeah.
It was dead, bleeding out on the floor without a head, though.
It didn't have a head?
Its head was fucked. Like, she shot it in the face without any armour. It was dead. But I know you know that if the other two were still coming, but it was definitely fucked.
Oh, okay.
But, like, what stands out the creature in this film so much is that they are, like, they will just come kill you. Like I said, but in 2 seconds, you know you're dead if you make a noise, which is awesome. Because there is no fighting here. It is, you're fucked, and that's why the whole of Earth has been defeated by creatures. But to know that they know how to beat it, it kind of gives you that hope that they're going to win against them. It's kind of like, I don't want that. I just want them to keep running and having to survive how they have been, instead of having to fight back.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a downfall of the film, it just would have been cool. I would have been like, oh shit, if they didn't get to kill any of them. That's why I love the bit when he tries to swing at it with the axe and it just fucking launches him.
So sad.
Because I was like, shit. Like, I was like, okay, there is no chance. You can try, but there is not a chance you're taking him on.
He does that so well. That shout is just absolutely perfect. Yeah, because it's not like a...
And that bit, he doesn't fight it when he just shouts it and just risks him, he knows he ain't got a fucking chance of taking it out. Because the military couldn't do it. So... yeah, it'd just be nice that they couldn't defeat it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do feel like, though, they can't definitely. I know they know how, but it doesn't mean they'll be able to.
No, that's what I'm saying. You don't know for sure that they're okay.
What I'm saying is, it's not like, oh, okay, now it didn't feel like we've done it.
No, it didn't.
The Earth is safe.
No.
And also, they're the only ones that know, and it won't be easy to get to tell other people. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, huh?
How big this film is? I wonder if it'll be like Get Out, where people will be pushing for a sequel.
I really hope that they don't.
No.
I really hope that.
Same with Get Out. I just if you have ideas like this in your head, you can come up with other cool ideas like this, and you just create some more ones. Yeah. Make it like an anthology. If you want to keep them connected and get people excited to see it's from the person from Jordan Peele. He made Get Out, and now it's his next horror one. Yeah. There's definitely going to be a box set with Get Out and A Quiet Place, another film. Yeah. The comedy actors directorial debut collection.
It always is so funny to me when people say, "Oh, isn't it crazy? Like these comedy actors doing like really decent, serious films." Comedy acting is the hardest kind of acting. Like I don't.
It's trying to be funny.
I know it's obviously it's hard to be like convincingly angry or devastated or whatever and do some serious stuff, but
to be funny,
but to get the timing, I think if you're a good comedy actor, you can probably do anything. It's all about timing. You could
probably do surgery.
You could. I mean, anything in the world, you could probably turn yourself into another being. Yeah.
Anything else to say for the film? No. What are you
giving
out of 10?
The thing is, if I say yes, I have more to say. All I'm gonna do is just carry on telling you specific bits that I loved.
We can still talk about it. Let's just say we're almost on the old hour.
We're almost on the hour. And, no, it's okay because literally, otherwise, all I'm gonna be doing is just saying other bits that I
fanboying
loved massively. Fanboying it. I'm a girl.
Yeah, well, it's fanboy. Still was the term.
You can say fangirl.
Fangirl. You're a vampire fan.
If say Mulan. No.
Out of 10?
10.
10.
I'm gonna give it a 10 because I loved it so much, and I know it isn't perfect, but for me it's a 10.
All right. For her it's a 10.
If I had to say like critically, I'd probably give it like a 9.7 or a 9.8 because.
You thought that was terrible. I'd probably give it like a 9.8 out of 10.
Because I'd probably give it a 4. No, I'd probably take off a couple of 0 point somethings.
For your viewing, it was a 10.
Because of like the obviousness of the board and whatever the other one thing was. The gun at the end. But apart from those two bits, and I can forgive that for how insanely good this film is.
There were suspenseful bits. I found it very suspenseful when the creature went underwater, when she was walking in the water.
Oh, that was amazing. Forgot about that. Yeah.
I will give it a 9.0. 9.
9.
A 9. Yeah, just quite high for it. I did really like it. Let's talk about then how creatures, like the screen time or runtime that you give to a creature, affects films. Okay. So the obvious one, I've just read as well, John Krasinski was inspired by Jaws, which is interesting because Jaws is very much no screen time to the shark until the very end, which I am usually more on board. Not always. Most of the time, I'm more on board with never showing it or showing it very little. Yeah. Because I think the unknown is much creepier, and if you can't see it.
That was always my issue with Signs, and I do love Signs, but that was always my issue with it. Was once I saw it, I was like, oh.
Yeah, but only at the very end.
It's not a frightening looking thing. Even a little bit.
I guess it's the hard thing with Signs is for me, it's like it looks like what people say they see. It's keeping it realistic and it looks like the most generic alien.
It looks exactly like
But that's what
like
people.
How a kid would draw an alien.
But that image has come from sightings. Like the image of alien, that image has come from what people believe they've seen. Yeah. And as well, and it doesn't. But the thing is, the way they use it in Signs, this is what I mean. Like you see the creature quite a lot. Yeah. But all the time that you see it, right up until the last bit where it's got the kid in his arms, and you properly see it. Like with the bat,
Yeah.
When you see its full body up before that, but the way it's shot makes it still creepy. So when you see it on the roof, you just see a shadow on the roof, which is terrifying. When you see it on in the recording that's put on the news, that I keep saying, he's behind. That bit, when you see it, and you see it in full body there, it's fucking horrible. Just because of Yao Queen Phoenix's reaction.
Yeah. Yao Queen. I love that the birthday party is not in America.
Yeah, it's in Spain.
It's very, it's cool because it makes it feel global. It's scarier, because it's not a place that is near. Not that we live in America, but you know what I mean. I
agree. When you see it in the TV's reflection in the living room, it's scary.
That is scary.
Until it turns on and you see it in full. But even in full, they kind of trying to shadow it. They try and put like light around it to shadow it out a bit. But no, I agree. Until the very end. Yeah. But they keep it to the end, which is nice because you don't properly see it.
Yeah.
When you see in the film as well, when you see birds, I think are they seeing that? You see them hit nothing in full out of the sky, and they talk about it on the news.
Yeah.
The birds hit nothing in full. That's creepy because you know there's something up there watching.
Yeah, no, that is scary. I think it's always scary when you can't see it, though. Why are you laughing?
That just made me laugh because, let's be honest, we just stopped recording and then started recording. And you said you had the perfect thing to say, and then you didn't, and you kind of stuttered a bit.
What? No, I didn't stutter.
Also, because you're holding your hand out like you're reading from it, made me laugh.
I'm writing my own name on my hand.
Of course you are.
Just because
this podcast is so boring.
No, I just like to write my name on my hand. Yeah, no, we stopped recording, so we've got a bit lost now. We didn't stop recording on purpose.
So we said about science, you saw the creature. I was just saying about Jaws, because obviously that was kept to the very end.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like classic Spielberg, what it was about saving. I think that was so powerful about it was just a shock, and you knew it was just a shock, but it was so powerful because you saw from its eyes watching stuff, and then you also... That's really interesting, isn't it, doing that?
What?
How when you show from the first person of the creature's eyes... That works as a scary method, like in ghost stories. I'll refer back to that from earlier. When you saw from the creature's eyes when the kid was in the car, the creature was... You were seeing it first person when he ran up to the car. Isn't it weird how you can watch from the creature's eyes, the antagonist's like eyes?
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's creepy.
Sorry, I couldn't remember what bit you meant. Yes, yeah.
From their perspective, it's creepy because you know
yeah.
the victim's completely... Well, it's like the victim is completely...
Yeah.
Why have I forgotten the word? Unsuspecting.
Yeah.
And... It's weird that you can watch
It's weird
from their
that
eyes.
it's scary because it, in a way, it kind of should make you feel in control.
Because you're in its eyes.
But
you're
not,
but it works.
but you don't. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I wonder why that makes you... There must be some psychological reason why it doesn't make you feel like more settled. I was trying to think, apart from It Comes at Night, because we mention that all the time, I can't think of anything else where you don't see it at all. But It Comes at Night, we don't know if there's actually a thing, do we? It might just be a virus.
No, there is something.
How do you know?
Well, the dog gets fucked.
Yeah, but it could just be a virus.
Then it squeals out in the woods, and then it comes back dead.
Yeah.
And they say about the kid. I know they're saying it could just be a virus, but his granddad was turning into something they burned. It's only it wasn't really. He had dreams of it. No, there isn't, I guess, but it always hints that there's obviously some sort of because they burn the bodies and there's I know it's an infection, but they hint at like because they react when they hear something out there. They sort of react and go, "There's something out there," and they have the door, and it's just a hint at that. But then that's why I love that film. It's scary because you don't know what the fuck it looks like, what it is. Yeah. The ritual was great. How I did with the monster. Again, that tried not to really use it until the end.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
I think the best way of doing it is just holding it suspensefully until the end. If you're going to show something in its complete body, save it to the end.
Yeah.
Because the ritual did it really well. If you've watched that,
ritual did do it really well. Did that film get? I don't.
It's a Netflix film now. Remember, it's sold to Netflix.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, did it do?
Did it do well critically?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it did quite well.
I think it was really good, actually.
It was.
Because it also felt really believable. They felt like a really believable group of friends.
Because it felt like Mad Dogs, like an England, like that English kind of laddie group.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But yeah, no, the way it just it holds up until the end, and it's really scary because I think they do it well as well because you know that whatever is out there is affecting them, and you get to see how it's affecting them. It's not. I think it's good when it actually physically does something like they were all going crazy in that house, and it's not just that they're scared of something out there. That there's actually things happening because of whatever it is. Because obviously that just builds.
You see bits of it as well.
Yeah, it builds. Yeah. I also thought the creature in the ritual was really good.
God, yeah, it looks amazing.
It was really frightening because it looked like it looked almost something like from a myth, but it also looked like something that you could kind of believe would exist in a forest. You're not like, okay, well, what the hell is that? It looked like something I don't know. And it also looked like it had absorbed a human.
Well, it was a god. I loved it because it looked like something you'd imagine to be like a god-like creature.
Yeah.
I won't say in detail because people might not have watched the ritual. Yeah, I don't think it always has to affect. I think it does in the sense that I think that people spoil. I think it affects the scariness of the film. I don't think it affects how good the film is because that's to do with all kinds of elements.
Yeah.
But I do think I think Pennywise was. The thing with Pennywise in it, because of that first scene with Georgie, because I had heard Pennywise speak and saw his full face, Pennywise lost its like frightening element
naturally,
to me,
I think
he sounded like an idiot.
Yeah. The bit in the drain, I think, is one of the most scary parts.
Yeah, and it's because that's the first time you see it and hear it.
Yeah, well, and when I think back to that film, there's only a couple of bits that I ever think, oh, that bit actually was really frightening.
Yeah.
I think it's I think that bit, and then the bit where you know the I can't remember what his name is. The one that his parents are burnt in a fire, and then he's
is it Mike?
Might be Mike.
Or is Mike the
I can't really remember any of the names, to be honest.
No.
But anyway, him when he sees them like hanging from those chains through the plastic, that bit really frightens me. But again, it's because you can't really see him that much, but you know sort of what he is.
I was gonna say that, yeah. I think you can show something in full, but you have to show it from a distance. But you have to stuff where you have. That's what I was saying about ghost stories.
That bit was so frightening.
What bit in ghost
I know
stories?
what bit you're gonna say, and
There's
it was really scary. Yeah, no, but okay, yeah, but if you're saying about not. Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, okay, so the scarier... I sound like I was scared. The thing that we were saying about ghost stories earlier, again, if you skip this bit, if you've not watched it yet, because this will be spoilery, kind of, it won't spoil the film, it will just be something that happens in it. Anyway, the thing with ghost stories, there's jump scares in there where you see right what is happening, and it takes away from scary bits where you still see the full thing, the full creature / demon or whatever you want to call it, and it is scarier because... you can't quite 100% make it out. Yeah. The first bit we said about was with the first story in that film. There was a bit where it's essentially looks like a ghoul's face, like a ghostly face with its mouth going. And it's not making any noise. And it looks like it's got it's got a sheet around its head. Its face is just showing. It looks like it's like just yawning. Yeah. And it's really far away, and you're already seeing it from behind the character who has a torch in it from quite far, and you can tell what it is. You can tell that's what it is.
You can see it's a face, but also you're going, wait, is it? I can't. Hold on. Yeah. Is it? No, it is. No,
which
it
is so
is.
true to life as well, because you do that all the time. You see stuff in the dark, and then there's no jump scare. He just looks at it again, and it's just a broom. Not like a really annoying like, like with music way. He just like sort of flickers the torch, and it's not. And then later on, so that's why that works, because you see it completely, but it's still like discreet about it. Yeah. Because even though you're seeing it, you'll have to kind of squint to try and make sure it's that. And then later on in the film, there's kind of like a demonic kind of ghostly woman, like grey woman, sat down in the chair, and there's like horrible echoey voice. Yeah. And it's not that kind of annoying echo. It's like, it's like a weird.
It was weird. It was almost like it was like almost sort of distorted and a bit like computerized.
Yeah, which made it creepy because it felt original. I can't remember what it says. It said, "We're dead. I'm dead. We're dead." Yeah. It sort of, does it repeat it, or it just says we're dead? And you're like, fucking hell, because you can see us sat in the corner.
Yeah, I can't remember. It says we're dead and something else, but I can't remember what it is. I'm not even kidding. I've got goosebumps down my arms because that bit really frightened me.
It looks like kind of YouTube footage you find of hauntings that people have like made on YouTube.
God, don't. It's horrible. It really is horrible. Yeah.
It is, and then you see it in the corner, it's sat and you can see it, but then it's, because it's so small on the screen, even though you're watching it on the screen because it's in the corner, as soon as it comes up to the camera and yells in Martin Freeman's face, it goes, it's like, it's not scary now, it looks completely different. It takes away from it. It's like, you've shown too much now. You've played all your cards. Yeah. And that's what I mean. But I think it does affect horror films how much you show the creature, because you've played your card. If you're going to show what it looks like, I know, especially for me, you've lost. Yeah. It's lost its edge.
That's what also was really scary about the first one. You know, when the little girl, you can hear her going, "Daddy," but her voice is like kind of weird.
Warped again.
Yeah, kind of. But then you see her full. And she's horrible. She's scary to look at, but it's not. It's kind of like it's almost you are kind of relieved.
You kind of hit the peak,
which is which you hit the peak of,
okay, this is as scary as it's going to get. Now it's not going to get worse than that.
It's because if you don't see it when you leave the cinema, you're still going, oh my god, what was it? Yeah. It was horrible.
And even if you just sit there, and you're kind of, oh god, and you don't see it in its full, it's kind of like, oh god, what was that?
Yeah.
I think I think it matters about if the creature's not going to be a character, it is going to be straight out a creature that you just want to have for like scare effects.
Yeah.
It should just be. Sorry,
oh my god, that scared me then.
It's the table. It's vibrating. I think with sound effects. I mean, sorry, not with sound effects. I think it's just about the phone. If you want to use Pennywise, I think it's fine to show as completely because you're using Pennywise is a character.
Yeah.
It isn't just like a scare effect. So
no,
it's an entire character.
he's part of you have to have him.
Yeah. If you've got if you've got something that you just want to be a full on like monster or villain, something like Slender Man, something like that.
Yeah.
That you don't want to be like a character and have like development, then don't show it.
No.
I hope in Slender Man, that's what's so scary about that game, is it's always a bit further away from you.
Yeah.
When your screen goes fuzzy and you see it close up, it's not as scary. You keep it at a distance.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so scary about. What was the game that we started playing and then we stopped because we got scared?
Oh, I can't remember what it was called.
I got scared.
It's a bitch.
You were fine. Outlast.
That was it.
Yeah.
Fuck horror
But we
games.
hadn't seen.
Way worse.
We hadn't seen whatever the thing was yet, have we?
No, it's just in a psychiatric ward.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, but it's horrible. But that was something that Ghost Stories did really well until they showed them in complete, full, head to toe.
Screaming.
Yeah.
It ruined it.
That bit though, honestly, when she was like, "We're dead," I was like, "No." It was almost so bad that I thought, "Is it there?" Is my mind
it's
messing
horrible.
with me?
In A Quiet Place, saying about this, just to say about the two films that we've spoke about this week, I think saying he said he was inspired by Jaws, and this, especially from the trailers, felt like you weren't going to see much at all for the entire film. And I don't think that... I think that you see probably about the right amount, but I said at the same time, the very start when it swipes... Spoilers for The Quiet Place in case you've skipped to this point, which I very much doubt. When the child gets swiped at the very start, you see the creature quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of don't want to see it at all, because I want it to be... Because creatures, I don't know why, creatures that are like pale looking, unless you're from Pan's Labyrinth, creatures that are like pale looking, there's an idea when creatures do work, when you see them completely.
Yeah,
because that was fine, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
That was to do with probably the paintings around the room. When creatures
and the
look a bit
fawn's just messed up. He's horrible. Yeah.
When you have I don't know how to explain it. I don't find creatures scary because they look alien, and when they look alien, things that are more believable are scarier. So when you've shown the entire, the thing Jaws, it's just a fucking shark.
Yeah, but it's so scary.
I know, because they don't show it. That's what's scary about it. If they'd shown it, you'd be like, a shark. And I know it's like, oh god, it's suspenseful, but it wouldn't be scary. You wouldn't be like, fucking hell, it's horrible.
Yeah, no.
You're afraid to go in water, and that is exactly why people don't like going underwater, because you can't see.
Yeah.
If they could see what was around them, if the water was completely transparent, so you could see your feet and you could see everything.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be as scared as not being able to see
anything.
anything.
No, it's just sinking your whole body into the unknown.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Jaws is terrifying. Probably why Psycho was, because when she gets stabbed in the shower, you can't see at all. You can just see a shadow, and also when you first get,
I haven't actually seen Psycho, which is really terrible.
I haven't in a very long time, and I cannot remember it. We'll get there.
I've seen bits of it definitely when I did film.
Yeah, especially that scene over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can't remember what film I was going to say with A Quiet Place. I think because the creature isn't scary looking, because it also looks like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things a little bit. Yeah. Which is, again, isn't scary looking. And you can say about Stranger Things, it's because they're not very scary looking creatures because you don't believe them to be real, so you're not really afraid of them. To then once you've shown that, it can be scary because you don't know what it is until you've shown it. And once you've shown it, you've played you've shown your hand. Yeah. And it's the same. Stranger Things was creepy. The first series of Stranger Things was quite creepy.
Yeah, I remember being really scared because I remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we started watching it? And I said, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch this on my own." But I could have after the first few episodes.
Because you don't see the Demogorgon, you just see something coming through the wall, and you see the lights going, and you see kind of that dog just looking, fucking hell. And as soon as you see the creature, it's done because it doesn't look scary. They should play on the fears a bit more. Same with this. When she saw the creature, it was a bit like, oh, because in the end it went from being alien.
Did you just make a noise on the table?
That was downstairs.
That scared me so much. That sounded absolutely horrible through my ear. It kind of went. It's horrible. Anyway, go on.
It's probably why you see the new Jurassic World trailers creeps you out. Because you just see the claw through the window. You know it's just the dinosaur, and you see him all the time.
It's not the claw. No.
Oh.
It's not that. It's not that. It's the dinosaur noise. It's how loud it is in the IMAX. It frightens me because it's so loud. It's like it's really, and it's not a very nice noise it makes.
No.
No, but it's good. I want to be scared of them.
I would. God, now
There
it's
is
fucking
again.
one outside. I'd very much vote on not showing anything or showing very little.
I don't think it. I think it's fine in A
always
Quiet
affect the
Place
film.
though, because again, like as we sort of quite quickly realise, it's more like a suspense thing
Than
rather
horror.
than oh my god, what is it?
It's definitely classed as a horror film, but it's about the suspense, as opposed to always it's like Get Out by the end. I think it's just when it explodes. Because Get Out again, you say about why isn't a creature? So you can't really say about that. I guess. I'm trying to think of any others. We can do about the Cloverfield films. Cloverfield's fine. They show loads of the monster, but they do it because it's found footage, and you don't see like a clear shot.
You don't see loads of it.
You do by the end. You see its face.
See,
like, really
you see loads
and...
of it, but you don't see it like as a whole. A lot.
No,
you
so
see like parts of it,
found footage,
which
so
is great because
blurred.
obviously the camera's not able to zoom out enough because it's so massive.
And it's always scary
That's
when you
me
can't see
scratching
it.
the sofa, by the way. That sounded like something else.
You fine?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, she's really scared of that dinosaur stuff. Even in the first Cloverfield though, when they're in the tunnel, when they're in the subway and you hear something running towards them, like, what the fuck is that? That's more scary than when it gets caught up and they're like little crab creatures. It's way scarier.
Footsteps are always scarier.
Yeah, I would agree. And knocking. You don't like knocking, do you?
I do not like knocking.
That's a good one. See that this. I was trying to say, when have they not ever shown what it was? Doctor Who. Midnight.
Don't.
Episode of Midnight. If you haven't watched it, that fucking probably my favourite, if not one of my favourite episodes.
Yeah.
I meant to say it the other way around. One of my favourite, if not my favourite. Not.
It's my favourite, if not one of my favourites.
That still makes sense.
Still
it's a
makes
sentence.
sense, yeah. Oh.
There's just knocking, and it's so good because this isn't really spoiling episodes. So if you haven't watched it, go watch this one episode. You don't need to watch any other Doctor Who to know what's going on. It's like a separate episode. The driver, before they pull the shutters down to protect him from like these diamonds on the planet, goes, "What was that?
Yeah.
Did you see that? It's there again. Look, it's coming towards us."
Yeah.
And that's about it running towards them, and you don't get a view of it. You only get one shot out the window, and it's clearly not in the shot. It's like it comes at night. You see where it is.
Yeah.
But they've purposely you can say, "Well, there I saw it," but they haven't put it there. No. It's just a blank shot of like what they're looking at, and then it's knocking on the thing, and the hard you don't see what it was. It gets inside people, and obviously it's inside of people, but you don't see what it actually looks like.
It's horrible.
Yeah. That's why it works great.
That's why possession is always scarier, because you know it's some sort of demon, but you don't see it. You just know that it's in. Oh god, seriously, I keep getting like shivers down my arms. I'm really scared.
Don't listen to this at night. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Don't listen at night.
That's a great example when it does spoil a film.
What?
10 Cloverfield Lane, which is great and it's amazing. Like, because you don't.
So good.
Because if you said what's scarier, when it's down in the bunker or the end, you'd say down in the bunker. I hope and imagine.
What?
If you said what's scarier in that film, down in the bunker, or at the end, you probably see down in the bunker, because again you don't know what the creature is, and then it kind of it's like going from Alien to Aliens. That's what I was about to say about A Quiet Place. Like you go from subtle, like kind of what is that, to then going full out action film. Let's take this, kill these motherfuckers. And like in 10 Cloverfield Lane, it kind of she fought these creatures and they took away from how scary they were. Not instantly, because when she got out, she didn't know where it was, and she saw something running in the grass.
What were you saying about A Quiet Place?
I said it felt like with the creatures, it went from like, which was fine because it was about being a suspense film, but it went from being like you don't get to see them properly. Then by the end you see them completely and they're fighting them. Yeah. And that's what I did. I kind of wish they weren't fighting them.
I was kind of surprised about that actually. I didn't think you would see them.
No. That weird dude with the top off in the house. Whoever the dude with his top off in that film. Any others? You could probably wrap it up pretty soon, but I just want to feel that. I'm trying to think of some big ones, but. Some big creatures and stuff. Oh, that was what I saw. Is it The Descent? It is The Descent.
The Descent.
Yeah,
see, The Descent is scary. Yeah.
And you see them quite a lot. Again, I think it's because it's in the dark.
Yeah, it's in the dark, and you know that they can't get away from them. And also, I don't like those because it's like they're human. They just have gotten stuck down there and have mutated.
It's very H.P. Lovecraft.
Yes.
From what I've read of that so far and what I know of him, it's very kind of like
You know him?
I know him really well. We're best buds.
It's weird. No, I can't think of any other major ones.
No. I'm just trying to think of some now.
Oh.
There's gonna be loads,
He's
but
Googling that. I just kicked my foot in the air because I thought you were like
just on my phone
answering a text, and I was like,
no,
I can't wrap this sentence up alone.
The host comes up, but you see that completely.
Host.
But you kind of need to. You kind of need to.
The host. Is that
you
the
see
one
it straight away with the monster.
Oh.
The guy did Snowpiercer.
Yeah, the bit with the triangle in the wall. I think it's something else. Wall. The one where they're in the hospital.
Oh God, yeah, you're thinking of
What am I thinking of?
Fuck, what is that called now? Do you mean the one with all the triangle faces? When they're in the hospital.
When they're all outside.
Yeah.
Mm.
Why has that gone from my head? What that title? I can't remember what film it's.
Oh,
no, it's not that. The host is the guy that did Snowpiercer.
Yeah. What happened?
And Okja. The one with the creature that takes the girl. And the girl sort of with the creature the entire movie. The like fish animal. That's obviously turned into a massive creature from the water. How have you forgotten what the host is?
I'm not making this up.
I'm not. You know it attacks. It comes out of the water straight away and attacks like the guy. The main guy works in like a little fucking shitty shop. That picture. Why am I not just showing you a picture?
Oh right, yeah. Why did you say it's a Korean film? And then I'm like remembered. Yes. What am I thinking of? Why can't I think what that other film is called?
The Void. There you go.
Void.
Because it's 4 letters and it's got an O in it. That's why in the same place.
Yeah.
That was very early on that you saw that.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends how it affects the film, I guess.
It depends what kind of film you want it to be, really.
Because that wasn't scary, but it wasn't meant to. It was more of a monster movie.
Yeah.
It follows as well.
Yeah, see?
You see completely, but it's creepy.
Yeah.
Because it's always walking towards you. It's how it's used, isn't it?
Again, that's quite a human-looking thing, though. I wonder if it's scarier if it's a human-looking thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's more believable.
Yeah.
Make that argument about it again. It's just because.
And I think also it's always more frightening because you don't want to believe that humans are anything but humans. If they get possessed or whatever, then it feels like everyone's human, so it feels like everyone could.
You don't know who to trust. That's why The Thing's scary. There you go. The Thing's another one.
Yeah.
It's creepy because you don't know who it's in, and
I didn't find that creepy in the slightest.
Didn't you?
No.
Do you know what I find the creepiest about it?
What?
The wolf, the dog, running at the start, a husky running, and them chasing the helicopter. So I was like, "Fuck, is that?"
Oh right, yeah.
I don't know why. It's the atmosphere of it, I think.
Yeah, that is quite creepy. But no, not creepy, but yeah.
Tell you what you do see completely, and that was the creepiest bit of one film for you, the wailing.
Oh god. Yeah.
You finally said something, and that's what creeped me out the most.
Yeah. And actually, sometimes it is just such a terrifying image.
Yeah.
Like in The Ring.
It can work, yeah.
Her crawling out on TV. Fuck.
Well, have you ever watched Tremors?
Huh?
Have you ever watched Tremors?
I don't think so.
I think you should watch that because that always comes up when I see stuff about stuff like this. No, when I've just been looking at creature stuff, it's just about Tremors.
I don't want to watch Tremors.
Should we leave it there?
Yeah.
It's a decent little discussion. So,
got any news?
to conclude, just trailers. We got that in a second.
Right.
To conclude,
we don't know. We haven't really answered the question.
Yeah, we have. It depends. It depends how you're going to use it. Like it can't. It's not going to make or break. It's something style over something. It's not going to make or break a film.
If you're trying to make a really frightening film, unless you have a very frightening image.
Yeah. Or character to that character.
Yeah. Then showing it early is not your friend.
Yeah.
I think if it's more like if it's a creature or something, that's not always.
I think it works whatever it is. I think it's better not to show less.
No, I'm saying
if you're using it as a scare tactic.
Yeah.
If you're using it
I'm just saying the ones where we say actually that worked showing it earlier on. It always seems to be a human type figure.
Yeah. Other than the host showed it earlier on, that wasn't the human type. Let's talk about Annabelle.
Yeah, but that wasn't scary. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. You're saying if it was scary earlier on.
I'm saying if it's
and you show it for long.
then it seems to only work showing it earlier on if it's a really scary.
Yeah. It's about playing the right cards at the right time.
Yeah.
Is what the answer to that question is.
Yeah.
What's the time for then?
The news.
April Fool's again, bitch! I'm joking.
We got no news.
we haven't really got any news other than
Not
to relate to what we're saying. There's trailers, and one of those trailers is for a film called The Meg, with Jason Statham, about a giant shark.
It looks
And then
so
it has to be just
wonderful.
be sharp. It looks like it's trying to take the piss, which I'm okay with because it is taking the piss.
And it's Statham.
Yeah,
He's
there's a funny, ridiculous trailer, and just was obviously taking the piss.
They've just run out of ideas now.
Just make
that they've
creatures
started.
bigger.
Yeah, they've started making second ones for everything, and now they're just like, I don't know. Should we just make it big?
Yeah, should we just make it bigger? That's scarier. Why don't they make it smaller? We've got a tiny.
You had
deer
the
on
Perfect
loose.
Storm, and then you had Geostorm. You had Jaws, and now you've got The Meg. You had King Kong, and now you've got, what's that one? What's the one with?
Oh, Rampage.
Now you got Rampage. You had, I don't know,
Got
some
loads
other
of big
small ones
creatures
from the
recently.
beginning.
Yeah, more. All, of course, of the same quality, especially Jaws and The Meg. I'm sure they're going to be on the same level.
I
of
feel like
quality.
they're going to be
Like Meg could be better.
just the masterpieces of their decade. So.
Yeah, it is kind of bigger isn't always better.
Nope.
I'd say that.
Unless it's a cake.
Then bigger is always
And then
better.
it's always better.
Biggest trailer this week.
Yeah.
Solo. They've just recently posted for Solo a new trailer, and the trailer looks alright.
I enjoyed that trailer very much. It's made me more excited than I
Good.
was. Much more excited
Yeah.
than I was, because I was just a bit like...
It's put a bit of a light, like a linear line to the film, doesn't it?
And it feels like it has its own... It feels like it has more of an idea of what the
It
film
is.
is.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Chewie's
they've
got a
shown-
bitch in it.
They've shown more... What?
Chewie's got a wife in it. Did you miss that shot?
No, I
Chewie's
saw
with
that.
another Wookiee.
Yeah, I know, I saw.
Could be his wife. He's very old.
Yeah. They showed a lot of Lando, which I think was a good shout, because he's so good.
Yeah. I thought
You look so confused.
Because I had Han in my head. I was like,
Yes.
they showed more of Han because he's so good. I was like, he's meant to be really shit.
No,
yeah.
but I think that was a good shout, and also, yeah, just it looks like it has a good overall design aesthetic. I think it's going to be
I like the look of it.
really interesting to look
I'm
at.
not sure how it will execute it because the trailer's only 2 minutes and about 2 hours runtime.
I feel like
but
Amelia Clark's a mistake too.
I like it. They love a good English chick in the lead role, don't they?
Not because she's bad. I don't mean that. I just mean
Big face, you know her.
Yeah.
They're all quite big faces. You've got Woody Harrelson. As
I
well.
know, but she feels. I don't know why it feels like she's sticking out more than the rest. I don't know why.
Because she's got a bigger face than him, I guess. She's not got enough money already.
She's got a big old
Should we leave it there?
face. Yes.
All right. Peace out, Pete.
Thank you so much for listening.
Try and go to sleep if you listen to this at night time. And we'll see you next week for... I can't remember what's out next week.
Goodbye.
Oh, fuck. Something big was out next week. Do you want to do that again to scare him? Because I carried on
Yeah, I'll
talking.
do it at the
Ready?
end. I know you can't ruin it. Wait, no, what's out? What's big? What's
I
big and
can't
out?
remember what's next week. You'll find out next week when you listen to the next
Okay.
podcast.
Goodbye.